Welcome to the Intuitive Websites Internet Marketing Podcast, bringing you the country's top podcast on the subject of internet marketing, with your hosts Glenn Thayer and the CEO of Intuitive Websites, Thomas Young.
Hi, folks. Welcome back to another Intuitive Websites Internet Marketing Podcast. I'm Glenn Thayer. Tom Young is with me today, and we are going to be doing another website review for phonetically.com. Now, a lot of times we will review websites of our listeners, and not only for the benefit of the listener and their website, but a lot of times it's for the benefit of other users who are trying to make tweaks to their website and find out what works and what doesn't work. So just so you know, when we're doing the review, it's not just for the company, it's also for all of the listeners and viewers just like you. So if you go to photocracy.com, photocracy.com, let's bounce in right to the first thing is, what is it? I mean, it looks to me that we have a social media website. It's kind of like the niche websites that we were talking about, the trends for 2013. And of course, we've got tons of these new programs that are out with P90X, Beachbody programs, Body by V, I don't know what. You have all these different options that you have to get in shape and work out, and Photocracy takes this online. So one of the first things that come to mind is how do we pronounce the name? And I think, Tom, you had mentioned that there were some challenges with the name.
Right. I think right off the bat, you look at the website and you have to figure out, what is the name? That's great that the domain name matches the company name. That's always real important. But how do you pronounce the name? So I think if you do user testing and you try to get feedback from people, you will not get a 10 out of 10 response from people pronouncing the name correctly. I thought it was Crazy at first, and I just read it quickly and I didn't see the C. And then someone actually looked over my shoulder and I said, I think it's Photocracy. And I said, oh, okay, that probably makes sense. But a way to help explain the name is to maybe have it phonetically spelled next to the logo, or to have a little tagline next to it, or to have something that rhymes with it right there. And I think earlier,
the democracy of fitness,
the democracy of fitness, Photocracy, the democracy of fitness, or something like that. So you can, it makes sense now. You have the already a Phitocrat at the top there next to the login, but that's number one. Then number two is going to be the question of, well, what does this site do, and what does fitness motivation mean? Once again, 10 out of 10 people will give you 10 different things about fitness motivation. So we may want to get the word social media in there, or a social network, or fitness motivation from your friends or something. So we get the sense that you're going to be sharing your workouts and sharing the whole concept of fitness and getting motivated to work out and get in shape. So once those two areas are overcome, then the next thing is, well, the user will go, do we want to move forward with this? Is this something I want to sign up for or not? And if they decide to sign up, it's pretty straightforward. I do have to jump in here, though, because as far as signing up for any type of social network, I went ahead and signed up for it as well as you did, Tom. This has been the easiest thing to sign up for ever. What I really, really liked about it was the fact that they showed all the different things. Here's where your account settings are, and here's where you change it. Here's where you can update your statuses. Here's where your account settings are. Everything was labeled as you were filling it out and as you were setting up your account. And I have yet to see a social network do that. I've never seen that. So I did want to call attention to that, because they did a really great job with that. Yeah, that's great. And obviously when you have a social network and it's free, you're dealing with massive numbers. You want massive amounts of people to sign up. I think the sign up was very easy for me as well. Now, once you get into the site and you start using it, then now we become more strategic, because we're trying to figure out, well, how can I get that niche group of people to really use this site and interact with it? And when I see a site like this, I think about magazines, because when I was a kid growing up, if you had an interest in something, you subscribed to a magazine. There was no internet. And now magazines are disappearing and they're becoming websites. And I think that they are also becoming social media sites. And the meaning behind that is that not only can you have the great content that a magazine used to provide, very tailored and focused, you can also interact with other subscribers and also contribute your content. So you don't have to wait for the magazine to come out with your little responses to editorials or whatever. You can actually go on and interact. And I think that's where Photocracy really has a chance to do really, really good stuff, is to have high levels of content on fitness that are also then connected to the enthusiast that wants to share and talk about how they're getting in shape. Now, I do notice that as I look at my feed, when I click on friends, your friends, I start to see that, there are people in there that are posting suggestions and ways to do things and that sort of stuff. And that's good, but I think we have to be careful with a site like this that we really keep it focused on the users, and that the users are the ones sharing their information and talking to each other. And that's probably going to be the challenge for this website.
One of the other things, too, is, we start going back in from a monetization model. If
Right.
we're looking at that, that was the first question that I had is how does this site make money? And the first thing I went to look for is ads. And there were a couple of ads that I saw, but it didn't look like they were related to fitness. I think there was one, was lifelock.com was one of them that I saw. So there really wasn't something in there that was related completely to fitness. I was kind of expecting to see somebody who might be a kettlebell manufacturer. It might be protein shakes, muscle milk, something to that effect that would be coming in and doing that. From an ad standpoint, you brought up free, something that's free. I checked something here. It says invite feed. I got on my feed and it says invite friends, get a month of free hero for every 10 friends you sign up. And I'm thinking, what does that mean? What does free hero mean? So I looked on the dashboard, and like I said, I'm brand new with the site. I just signed up a few minutes ago, and I go to the dashboard and I see the hero setting there. It says Photocracy Hero, and it opens a new window and it says Become a Hero. And I look and it says a hero account unlocks special features. How fancy! It looks like it's $4.99 a month, $44.99 a year. And it looks like it just gives you more opportunities to engage with the website, have a title, have save other people's workouts that they post. So I guess some of the questions is, if you're sharing your workout, does people get to see them and you can't save them? Do you see them? Do you not see them? I'm not really sure, but apparently you can copy the workout and print it out is what I'm seeing, and some badges, and it supports the site. That's about all that I see right there from a monetization model.
Right, and so it's not, and so when you have a site like this, it's driving a monetization model by basically withholding some benefits and then saying if you want those benefits, you can pay for them. We have to have a need for those benefits, and it's probably going to happen organically, because I remember seeing that link to Hero, but once I got on the site and started looking around and clicked on the links, I completely lost it. In fact, I don't see it now after I've logged in. But what will happen is I might start to use the site and then realize, it'd be nice to have that feature. I wish I could save this, or I wish I could look at that. And then once you click through, you realize, well, okay, that's paid for. Now I see the value. Yes, it's worth $5 a month. I want to move forward with that. I think that the business model behind sites like this are so important, so critical. Now, business models are based on your goal and what you want to accomplish with your company, right? So you might, Photocracy might have a small staff. They might be able to do just fine with advertising. Maybe they're not trying to be a Facebook. I don't know. But I think if you're going to sell something that's a monthly subscription, the benefits won't come from people signing up and saying, oh, look, a benefit. I think I'll go grab that. The benefits will come when they use a site and organically start to realize I need a little bit more. They can also come with content, because when we had magazines, you paid a subscription price and you were happy to do that because the content was worth it. So, the business model definitely needs some thinking behind that. And I think also making sure that you've got the right person signing up. This is a site that could be just ripe with spam, and I think you've got to be careful of that. I've already seen a few photos on here that were a little bit suggestive, and you're wondering, where's that photo coming from? So, just some of the challenges of setting this up, and I think anyone who sets up a social networking site are going to have to deal with some of these challenges. So, good luck with that. It's going to be important that they get that right.
It is really nice to see, though. It is very clean. They have a very clean layout. It looks like it is fairly easy to maneuver my way around. Looking at the dashboard, I have questions when it comes to the dashboard. anything that has to do me personally, if I'm looking at a social network site and it allows me to have titles or badges, it's almost like Foursquare where it becomes a game. If you have there's a certain demographic that really enjoys the gamification portion of social networking. And it looks like here it says level, titles, achievements, quests, challenges, duels. I'm not really sure what that is. I guess you can go up against somebody else who can do more push-ups or who can do more kettlebell lifts, whatever it might be. Just not really sure on how exactly that's supposed to look. Do I have a title? How do I get a title? Oh, I need to become a hero, and I just clicked on titles. It says you can't claim a title if you're not a Photocracy hero. So to get a title, I have to sign up. So that's my question now that kind of comes to mind is, do I have to pay money to get value from the website? And
right.
That's the next thing that I'm going to kind of look at is, do I have to pay, or can I get enough value to say, ooh, maybe I'll need to see more?
Right, and then little simple things like how many total users are on the site. That would be good to know, because then you have a sense of how massive is this network. What are some of the goals of the typical user? And I know that people that work out and people that do sports, they love to talk about working out and doing sports, and they love to do two things. One is talk about what they've accomplished, and then listen and support people as they try to accomplish their goals. So it just might be the idea of really simplifying that. In early on in the sign up process, and then helping people connect. I know also that there's points and there's level, and so I think that needs a little bit more explanation. In fact, it'd be nice to be able to click on that and get more information about what I see people in here that have millions of points and people that have the highest level looks like it might be 55, but I'm not sure about that. How does all that work? I mean, is there a way to simplify the explanation of it, or do we have to just dig deep into the site and find it?
Is there an FAQ somewhere that we can find? I think I may have found one that was on the hero end of things. There was a little FAQ that seemed like there was some information there.
Well, I think it's important to know that once you're inside the website and you've logged in, you do need to see some of the stuff that you reviewed on the external site, and people won't log out to go back to the external site. So I think it would be a good idea to have more content for folks that, like for me, I'm new to Photocracy, and now I have some questions, but how am I going to get those answers? Because I have to go back to photocracy.com. I'm probably not going to do that. I want to stay logged in.
Right, and I did find the FAQ was under when I hit hero. That's where the become a hero. And that's where it was. There was a getting started, become a hero, and then there was an FAQ there. And it seems like the points. Whenever you click log activities button, you're writing over what you did for the day. Let's see. You're basically writing over what you did for the day you have selected. So if you had a bunch of new activities, it's if you logged a whole new day's worth of activities.
Right.
So,
and we're not looking at the mobile app, but the mobile app could be a big part of this too. So I think that this is a site that is perfect for user testing, and to really think out the strategy behind the user testing and recruit a group of fitness folks. And I would maybe segment them into fitness leaders and fitness doers, and then put them on the site, have them go through the sign up process, and have them interact with the site as they would in real life. I think you'll have some fascinating stuff come back, because in some ways this is also a really big area, and it deals with a lot of different issues in people's lives. So it would be very easy for folks to just bounce all over the place and not stay focused on what the site's about.
Yeah, and the other part of it too is it is a fitness site. What type of personal trainers are involved with this? What are their backgrounds? Is it attached to a name? Are there people that we might be familiar with in the fitness industry that we can connect to it?
Right.
So what would be the key points for our listeners and our viewers?
Well, the target market is critical for this website, and I think that there's going to be subsets of that target market. For example, and this is something that has been kind of hard for me to find here, but somebody who is into weightlifting is going to be very different from someone that's into running or someone that's into golf or tennis or other sports. If you could somehow set up subgroups for people in those types of activities, then you can start talking about the different rewards that they're trying to accomplish in their running times, in their weightlifting, in their tennis and golf scores and results. I think that's going to be real critical for this site to try to get those communities and groups built and go to another level.
That's actually a good point that you bring up there, because what ends up happening is there's people who don't really care about the gamification portion of it. I know for myself, I am not really interested in battles, duels, points. I don't care about any of that. What I do care about is I want to log my workout. I want to compare my workouts to other people that are at my level. Right. I want to be able to have conversations. I want to find out what challenges they're having with their workout. If I get a pain in my lower back, how do I get it to go away to still be able to do some of these other exercises? That's the kind of information I'm interested in finding.
And I would think that's really common. I mean, and I, for me, being a busy, business owner, I'm always wondering, how do people find time to do this? And when they do find time, how much time do they spend on working out? So there's a lot of challenges and questions that are left open there. I think it's also a great resource for fitness trainers and advertisers, but I would try to focus, like Glenn said, on the niche advertisers that are doing advertising by sport or by fitness challenge or whatever it might be. And those fitness trainers should also become the content experts and the thought leaders that will drive people to the site. And then, just be careful when you're doing a site like this that you stay true to your passion and what the original concept for the site was. Because, let's say you reach 1 million users, or if you reach that 10 million user threshold, which really takes you to the whole stratosphere of like a Twitter or even a LinkedIn in some ways, just make sure you don't sell out. Stay true to your theme. And while doing that, develop a business model that's true to that theme. It'll keep your company culture focused, and it'll grow your user base, because people are very much into transparency with this kind of thing. And if they see the website start to sell out or move in the wrong direction, then you could lose users, or a competitor could come in and snap them away.
Well, folks, thank you so much for joining us today's podcast for our website review of Photocracy. If you would like to have your website reviewed, please send us an email at info@intuitivewebsites.com. Thank you so much for joining us.
This has been an Intuitive Websites Internet Marketing Podcast. For more information and to see all the available podcasts and much more, visit intuitiveblog.com. If you have a website you would like us to review or an issue you would like to see covered in future podcasts, email us at info@intuitivewebsites.com.